ride, it was silent. I had zero music. I had nothing playing in the background. Like I wasn't even paying attention.
So you were just all in your head.
I was just looking at the road and staying in between the lines. That's what I remember.
So it was just
literally
dead silence in your brain too, or?
Yeah. I remember getting on the thruway after filling up my tank and just driving and just staying in between the lines so I didn't hurt anybody else. And I remember my phone was buzzing and it was going crazy because my friend and his fiance were trying to get me to come to this escape room. And I just kept making up an excuse as to why I wasn't going to go. Like I wasn't feeling well and, you know, I didn't really feel like doing anything, or I didn't feel like getting changed or dressed, or, you know, whatever excuse I was trying to give. And, and I just remember just getting on the thruway and just ignoring everything, with the exception of the lines. I just remembered to stay in the lines. That was the only thing. It was crazy. I couldn't even, if you would ask me what happened on the thruway trip there, I couldn't have told you. As a matter of fact, I don't even remember getting off the exit instead of going to the bridge. Because the exit that I went to, because I didn't have GPS on or anything. I mean, I know how to get to the bridge.
So you had complete tunnel vision.
Yeah, it was like I literally don't. It's like when you get blackout drunk, you just don't remember what happened. And I just remember driving straight and getting on the thruway. And then the next thing that I remember is I'm in a parking lot at the escape room. And I hadn't answered any calls. I hadn't answered any text messages. As a matter of fact, George or April were calling me while I was in the parking lot. Like, getting ready to get out of my car.
What redirected your head?
I don't know. I just got off. Right off the exit. And that wasn't my plan at all. And I find it kind of interesting when people say, like, you know, it's selfish when people talk about committing suicide or when they kill themselves. But I think it's almost selfless in a way, not because it's hard to describe. Because when you're in that frame of mind, there's several things that lead up to it. I mean, there could be one thing that's a breaking point, but in the end, there's always like one thing that it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. And I remember for me, I mean, this is 2 years ago now, so this is shortly after my girlfriend broke up with me. Not long after my mom passed away, not long after my favorite pet died. Like, I mean, I had 1 year of like, I'm starting to get better, and then this happens, and then starting to get better, and then this happens, and it just made it so you didn't want to be around anymore. I used to drive like Uber and Lyft to help keep my mind busy. Like, that was the reason I did it. I literally put, 20,000 miles on a luxury vehicle just to keep my head busy. I think when people talk about suicide as a selfish thing, I think a lot of people think about doing it because they consider themselves a burden to the people that are around them, whether it's their friends or their family. And even, I mean, you can't tell someone who's feeling suicidal to just be okay. And you never think like, you never think that this person would do this, or, they seem happy, they seem content, they seem successful. But, I mean, none of that means anything on the outside, if on the inside they're broken or they feel broken. I think it's important for people to talk about when they struggle. Like everybody talks about success, and I worked hard, I pulled through it, and I did this, or I made this, or I built this, or I did whatever. But the problem is, like, in my experience, life doesn't come that easy with a lot of people. People work hard.
I think a lot of people have hit a point in their life. I mean, this is talking from personal experience too. I think a lot of people have hit a point in their life where they've been like, why am I here? What am I doing with my life? Why don't I just fucking end it right now?
Yeah.
And it's all in how you handle those next few steps.
Sometimes they just need you to, like, sit there and just be there. So if they need to talk, they have somebody. And I think more often than not, people just brush it off like it's not a big deal because, this person's dog died. Well, what if that person was being abused by a spouse or significant other and you didn't know about it, and their dog is what saved their life one time? Like, their dog could literally be someone that they consider to be their savior, and their dog died, and they go into this deep depression because they lost their best friend, like their literal best friend, their lifesaver.
Why was it that essential to make it that night at that time?
Because that's what I was ready to do. And that's all that mattered. The whole point was to put like a few dollars in so I could just drive to the bridge. I literally drove to this place without even knowing that I was coming here. I mean, I knew that my friends were here, but I mean, I wasn't coming for them. I wasn't even coming here. I was supposed to be going further down.
This is it, bud.
Yeah, it is.
How are you feeling right now?
A little anxious. Heart's still pounding. Definitely short of breath. Could have been the walking.
It could have been the walking.
It's just crazy, man. Like, I don't know what was going through my head then. But I mean, I'm looking at this now with a clear mind and going, man.
This is absolutely terrifying.
It is.
To be at the point where your brain is that shut off.
It's crazy.
To feel the way you're feeling now and to feel nothing.
Yeah. Total difference than 2 years ago. I mean, I'm looking out at this now and I'm thinking, 2 years ago, I remember just like looking at the water and going, I'll just jump into that and that'll kill me. The impact will kill me. And now I look at it and I'm like, man, I'd like to be out on a boat, like relaxing on the same water that 2 years ago I thought about killing myself in. It's crazy. It's crazy how things change in such a short period of time. Like, you look at 2 years and you're like, I mean, that's relatively short. When you're going through all of it, I mean, 2 years could feel like an eternity. Like COVID. I mean, literally the first 3 months of COVID felt like it took forever. Like, it's like, oh my God, we're still in March?
That was the year in itself.
I know. And it's like that. And I think it's very very hard to stop somebody from doing something that they plan on doing. Because I don't think there's anybody that could have said anything to me and it would have made a difference. I mean, I had one of my best friends calling me, telling me to come hang out, and it didn't make a difference. But I think if enough people did the stuff to make them feel wanted and loved and like they're a part of something, a lot less people would reach this point. Because 800,000 people die every single year by killing themselves. Many more attempted. Over 1 million a year. Every 40 seconds. Every 40 seconds. There's someone jumping in front of one of those semis right now. There's someone laying down on train tracks. There's someone that's pulling a shotgun out of the closet, putting it into their mouth, pulling the trigger.